Welcome to the Keishow, where we dissect and understand the necessary elements to perform better in life and beyond.
I can't stay.
Thank you so much for the love and support for the past few episodes. Your likes, your shares, and your comments are like oxygen for us to grow the channel and bring more value to you guys.
この番組はザ・ランニングプランビッグビッグプレイスの提供でお送りします。
In the last episode, we talked about goal setting and motivation, finding motivation with Coach Faisal from Original Bootcamp. And this episode, we're gonna talk about something simpler, which is running. They say that running is the most accessible sport because you don't really require much stuff. But is that true? But some people actually ask, how do you even start running? With me today is someone who has been crushing it in the 5-kilometer distance and also up to 300-kilometer march in the Gobi Desert. And he has managed to even be on the podium for it. Mr. Jeff Ross from the Running Plan.
Hello.
I'll let Mr. Jeff Ross here introduce himself a little bit.
Yeah, hi. I'm Jeff. I'm Scottish, so I'm from Scotland in the UK originally. I've been living in Malaysia for 8 years now. Eight years. I've been into running for almost all of those years. I did at school a lot of running, cross country and athletics. Then I stopped running for a long time, and squash was my big sport. But when I moved to Malaysia, I was training with the squash team here, with the Malaysian juniors, and I was just finding I was starting to get injured a lot. So I listened to my body, and I thought, right, I'm going to change what I do, and I just started running. And I got involved with Mark Williams, who was coaching at that time. I joined his group, and really never looked back since then. And I can pretty much say now I am addicted to running.
So aspiring runners come in different level, shapes and sizes. So for example, someone who has never ran before, what do you suggest them? Should they run according to time or distance?
Good question. We deal with a lot of new runners. Malaysia is a big growing market of runners, so there's a lot of beginners these days. And it's very, very, very important in the beginning to get the right starting point. Most people, including myself, make the mistake of just going for it, and the risk is that you get injured. So you've got to avoid injury, which means taking it slow, starting easy. If you're not physically fit, you don't want to be running too much. You want to mix some running and walking just to get things going. Then you build up a bit of endurance and stamina. So taking it easy in the beginning, I think, is important. Also mixing your training, so a bit of cross training we call it. So swimming is great, using that elliptical machine, the cross trainer.
Okay.
So don't just do running all the time in the beginning. Give your body a chance to adapt, because running is quite high impact. So you're immediately hitting the ground. You want to give your body the chance to adapt and grow strong to deal with that.
So should people, let's say I just started running, so I want to go out tomorrow. Should I do a 10 minutes or 20 minutes run, or should I be based on the distance itself, like going out like 2 or 3 kilometers and then?
Yeah, don't worry about distance. So yeah, time is the best thing in the beginning.
Okay,
so,
time is.
Yeah, set some targets. So 20 minutes, 15 minutes, doesn't really matter in the beginning. It's just getting that routine going. Doesn't matter how far you run or how fast you run in that time. It's just doing the time. And then once you start to understand the concept better, you'll focus more on your pacing and your distance. So either mix running and walking for 20 minutes or very slow jog for 20 minutes. That's a great way to start.
Okay, so when we talk about pacing, people don't really know how fast they should run at the first time. So I've seen people going out there and then they maybe sprint the first 10 meters and then they just became too tired to continue the whole running. So how can people know how fast they should go on the first few months or weeks when they first started running?
Okay. I think the main point I want to make on that is every single running workout that you do must have a purpose. So why are you doing the run? Is it just to get some fresh air? Is it just to get your heart rate going? Are you trying to build your endurance? What is the purpose of a workout? For beginners, you don't need to be too technical about that. As you get better at running and more experienced, this becomes more and more important. But essentially, every workout should have a purpose, and that then relates to the pace. So, for example, if we're doing a long run, a lot of runners call a long run at the weekend. If they're training for a marathon, they'll do a long run. Those typically are done at a slower pace. If you're doing an intervals speed session, maybe on the track or in a group, it's fast running. So those are different types of workouts which have different objectives. But for the beginner, don't need to worry about that too much. A watch is good. Once you get more experience, you will use a watch, but it's not essential in the beginning. What is important is your effort perception. So yes, everyone goes too fast, too quickly. It's normal. You're excited. You want to make the workout happen. But it doesn't matter. You'll learn from that. But pacing yourself is important. But do it based on your effort. So if you're out of breath very quickly, you've probably gone too hard. So just back off a little. So if your objective is a 20-minute run and you're just starting running, you don't want to be killing yourself. You don't want to be out of breath after 2 minutes. So nice and slow. And we have a good gauge to do with conversation. If you can still have a little bit of a chat with someone while you're running, that's a good level. If you're struggling to speak, then you're going too fast.
Okay. We actually started on how to go out there, either by time and also gauging how fast you are running. But I've seen on the internet maybe bro science that's saying that, hey, running actually is one of the most hard for your body. It impacts your joints and also it might injure you more than other endurance sports like cycling and swimming. So how do you go out there, keep on consistently running without actually injure yourself?
Very important. And yes, it is a high impact exercise activity. You're hitting the ground 180 times, 180 steps per minute when you run on average. So that's a lot of impact every time you're stepping on the ground. And that will send a vibration up your body, particularly on the legs, of course. So take it slow, build into it. There's a 10% rule in running we have, which means you should not increase every week your mileage by 10%. So if on week 1 you're just doing 10 kilometers, so maybe a couple of times are running 5k, the next week you don't want to do more than 11 kilometers. I know it's only a small increase, but that is a rule. So 10% rule is a good one. Listen to your body. If you feel any kind of tweak or something not quite right, it's your body's way of telling you just be careful. You can manage around injuries, but your body will always tell you when there's something not quite right, and you should learn to listen to that. Good shoes will help you. A lot of people wear old running shoes or just trainers like football shoes or something, and those are not designed for running on the road.
Any rules of thumb on how long should you run with the shoes, or how many kilometers?
Yeah, depends on the individual, but between 800 and 1,000 kilometers. So it's a good while. I keep a spreadsheet of my shoes, which is very sad, but it helps me to manage how much mileage I've done on every pair of shoes. And it is important. The shoe cushions your step. It enables you to run safely. So having a good pair of shoes is probably the best investment you will make in the beginning. And the running surface is the last point I would make. Running on concrete is very hard. Running on road is hard, but okay. Running on grass or trail is much softer. So mix it up a bit in the beginning if you can. If you can run on grass, it's probably the best. Just reduces the impact.
Is it more like running on a field or going outside at the side of the road?
Well, just wherever you can find it. I mean, the problem in KL is it's hard to find
is,
nice
it is.
running surfaces. Yeah,
It's not like Kenya or.
it's not easy. There's sort of sandy dirt is the best, but there's just nowhere really. But trail running is good because you are running on that surface. But just mix it up. Just be careful of what you're running on, and if there's any bits with grass, go onto them and use it. It does make a difference. Yeah.
I think in trail running you really need to be much more alert in ways that there are like roots they can
Yeah.
you can trip over.
I mean, that's another topic in itself, really. Yeah. I wouldn't encourage people to do trails straight away. But if there's a nice sort of dirt track, that's what I was meaning. So that's pretty soft to run on, and that's perfect. Yeah.
All right. So you can see that in Malaysia we actually have a lot of events every week. Maybe on average in Klang Valley it's like 2 to 3 events per week. I think it's higher now.
A lot.
All right. So some people do some kind of like I sign up for events as training, leading up to a main event at the end. So should you actually do this, or should you say that okay, I have one event I want to do in November, so I'll focus on that event and train more instead?
Yeah, I mean, events are great. It's why most of us run. We like to be part of a community. We like to get a medal. We like the T-shirt. It's a sense of achievement, and it's important to participate, I think, in races. So, yeah, go for it. Don't do one every week. I think that's too much. But it's nice to have a target race in the future. Maybe if you're training well towards something in the future. But you can use intermediary races as lead-up training events. You don't have to go 100% into the race. But early on, when you're just getting the hang of running and learning about running, it doesn't really matter if you enter a lot of events. But don't enter 42k every week, because you will get injured. Yeah, you got to be sensible about the distance you've entered.
For example, if you just started, maybe you want to go for like 10 kilometers first, then leading up to 21 instead of signing up for 32, but you've never ran more than 10 kilometers, right?
100%. A lot of Malaysians get excited and do enter a 42, and it's inappropriate. You've got to be ready for that distance. Even a 21 is very challenging. So please do not start with a 42. Yeah, they say it takes 7 years to build running endurance, and running endurance really means mileage and solid, consistent training. So 7 years is a long time. Maybe you don't need 7 years, but that is what is. That's bollocks. They say you need 7 years of running history to build the endurance to do a marathon. So a 42 km distance is not to be taken lightly. It's a great achievement, and everyone, in my view, everyone should try one and do one, and you should be proud of doing it. But take your time to build up to that, and do it right. Don't do it and it be a torturous 7-hour experience. You know, the cut-off times in Malaysia are quite generous. You know, they cater for people who want to take a long time, but it's not the healthiest thing to do to your body. So get ready for it, which means start with a 5k, then build up to a 10k, then the 21, then the 42, and that should take a couple of years if you're really serious. You can of course do it quicker, but you're risking injury a bit, and it's not going to be too much fun. So enjoy the short distances first, train for those, and then the rest will come naturally. Be patient for that.
Okay, let's say if someone wants to do 21 kilometers and then he wants to have a structured plan. So what do you suggest?
Well, with running, with any activity, you need to speak to people that know what they're doing. You need help. You maybe need a mentor. So group training is a great way to learn from other runners, and we all make mistakes in training, and we must learn from those mistakes. So speak to people that have done it before. How did they train? Or come to a professional like the running plan We have classes where we cater to all levels. We enable people to train in groups, and we also provide training plans. So if you're going to target a 21 or a 42 or even a 10K, you do need to structure your training. It's very, very important. And yeah, we can help you with that. And we train thousands of runners every year.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Jeff, for your time and your insights on how to start running better. I'm sure there's a lot of people who wants to improve their run. I'll let Jeff tell you guys a little bit more about the running plan and how you can get more information about it.
Thanks, Fami. My pleasure. Very, very simple. If you want to train in a group with some of our coaches, with Mark Williams or myself, come to one of our classes. We have those in KL in a few locations during the week and on weekends. It's the best thing you'll ever do. People love the classes. You'll do a hard workout. You'll meet new people. You'll learn about running sessions, and we'll have a look at your technique and give you some tips. So a running class is the best thing you can do. It's how I started, and it's how all of our good runners started in the beginning. That's one thing. And then if you're training towards an event, any distance, we can help you with a training plan. We'll give you some structure to follow. You do it in your own time. Our website has lots of videos, which Fami took, to help you with your workouts, and also some running body weight sessions. So our training plans are a great way if you're serious about working towards a race. And you can also do our classes. So we hope to meet you soon. Thank you very much.
By attending our classes, you'll get to train safely and with structure, and you'll get personal feedback on your running technique from experienced coaching. Training in a group is much easier than training alone. This is especially true when you're doing tough training sessions of a hard effort.
Our classes are suitable for all ages and all abilities. Training in a group is a great way to meet like-minded people and to have some fun whilst you're training.
Thank you so much for tuning in into the Keishow. I hope that this episode has helped you guys clear some misconception about running and help inspire you to start running better. And if you guys have anything you want to say to us, please comment below. If you like the content, please help us by liking, subscribing, and sharing this video. We hope to see you next time in the Keishow.
きっと約束